Oh, the mentioned you?
Yeah.
You just make the title mentioned you. You just make the title, you just change the title and mention you. And I gotta get this cat out of here. Sorry.
That's like, how is that girl doing that? Keeps on mentioning me.
So the mentioned you?
Yeah.
There you go. We
You just make the title mention
fix
you.
this.
Just make the title.
It's gonna be
you just change the
activating. I'm just gonna fix two things really quick. Here we go.
See some of my peeps on tonight. See Patrick on. I see Thomas on. What's up, guys? What's going on?
What's up, GT?
Everybody's good. Everybody's good tonight.
Gonna get better.
Oh, it sure as hell is. It sure as hell is. Y'all, I'm like an old Chevy. You know what I mean? I'm like that Chevy. It's hard to get me started, but once you get me going, you know what I mean? That's it.
All right. So thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for using my affiliate link to register. Obviously, you know, we're giving away massive value. I've actually known Greg over 5 years. If you guys don't know, Greg, he actually missed my speech at PT BizCon. We give him hell forever. But if you guys don't know, Greg was actually the guy that told me to go on YouTube, how to make 100K in home health. And that kind of started my first business and a few other things. So a huge shout out to Greg, and just, you know, working with Greg and just knowing him and just being around him has provided me massive value. And I want you to have massive value. And also too, at the same time, with this current economy, inflation is always going to outpace your wage. You need a second system, and Greg's probably one of the best people to work with to help create that second system. So thank you guys for showing up, and thank you, Greg.
Thank you. Thank you. You want to give me the floor or what? You gonna ask?
Yeah, you have the floor. You can have the floor.
So I don't know how many people on here know me. I always assume that nobody knows me. And by the way, I think that's what every single one of you should do as well. No matter how long you've been in the game, just assume that nobody knows you, and it will create urgency to put yourself out there consistently. So assuming nobody knows me, here's the deal. I am a physical therapist by trade, been a physical therapist for 23 years. I am the anti-entrepreneur, meaning that I did not want to be a business owner. I wanted to work for someone, and I thought that that was going to give me the life that I was looking for, which was a happy marriage. My parents had a lot of rocky times when I was growing up, and I really attributed that to my dad working for himself and not having stable income. And so because of that, to be very honest with you, that was one of my main reasons for going in the direction of becoming a physical therapist. I thought it was going to create stability in my life. Here's what I did not understand, you guys. What I didn't understand is that even though physical therapy gave me a decent salary, now I'm old school and I'm an old cat. I ain't young like y'all. So a little bit different situation. But what I realized is that I was never going to win the time game being strictly a treating physical therapist. I might be able to make decent money, but I wasn't going to win the time game. So in 2005, I decided to start playing the time game. I quit my regular job and I went out and started a business for myself. Now, back then, they didn't have any online stuff. There was no YouTube. There's no Facebook. There's no Instagram. Only thing, actually, there wasn't even, I don't even remember any MySpace. I don't remember none of that. Okay. I just remember that I needed to leave where I was because I wanted to be able to see if I can get back some of my time. And here's what I've come to realize. What I've come to realize is that when you play the time game, you can win the time game. You can't win any game you're not playing. And for me, I decided to play the time game, which I can talk about more in a little bit. But because I played that game, I started to win back my time. And I realized that it's probably the most surefire way to make more money as well. There's a lot of people playing the money game, and they might be winning it, but they're miserable in the process. Play the time game, and you could win the time game, and you usually win the money by default. And so the way that that time game looks today is it's where I am trying to do this. I'm trying to make lots of money and lots of impact in a condensed amount of time. And for me today, because I've made a good chunk of money throughout my last 15 years of my career, now I'm just trying to make a lot of impact, but at the same time, I want to have a lot of time with my wife and with my kids. So I'm still playing the time game, just playing it more for impact. Guess what's still happening? I'm making money in the process. So that's what I help people do. And we do that through many different ways. And y'all can just ask me a crap ton of questions if you want tonight. I'm totally cool with it. But I teach people how to make a lot of money in a short period of time. You want to know why? Because it's easier than making very little money over a long period of time. It is a hell of a lot easier. Now, you got to build it, but you got to build the other way anyways. Here, can I say one more thing and then I'll open up for questions? Okay. It's the craziest thing, man, right? I think for all of us, we want to get from a point A to a point B, right? So can y'all do me a favor? Can y'all just tell me, like, what is your point B? So let me give y'all a little clarity here. Tell me in the next 3 years, what you guys would love to be able to make per month. Remember, I didn't say three weeks. I didn't say 3 months. Just tell me in the next 3 years, what would be amazing for you to be able to make per month? And y'all don't be afraid of money, because if you're afraid of money, it's going to be afraid of you. Okay, 30K per month. All right, that's cool. That's cool, Muhammad. All right. Come on. 100K. 100K a month or 100K a year, Jillian? 100K a year? Okay, all right. Okay, who else? Oh, 100K a month. All right, that sounds cool. I like that. I like that. Okay, 30K a month, 100K a month. Y'all give me some other numbers. So here's what I've come to realize. For Muhammad or for Jillian, 100K a month or 30K a month is their point B. Their point A is where they're at right now. That might be 2K a month, 3K a month, 5K a month. Here's what I've come to realize. What I've come to realize is that the way for you to get from your point A to your point B is by building a vehicle. And every single vehicle that you build takes time. It takes time to build. Okay? So I'm going to date myself, but in 1997, I decided to build a vehicle. And I built this vehicle from 1997 to December of 2000. And that vehicle was 3 years in the making. And it was a pair of sneakers, AKA being a licensed physical therapist. By the way, my goal, my point B at that time was, could I make 50K a year? Now, again, I'm old, okay? I'm much older than y'all. But back then, that was like really cool. If I could make 50K a year. And the reality is that me becoming a licensed physical therapist over a period of time was going to get me to that goal. And that goal actually happened for me about 2.5 years into being a licensed physical therapist, okay? How long did it take me to build a vehicle? Well, wait, here, let's say this. First of all, what was the vehicle? It was a pair of shoes, AKA becoming a licensed physical therapist. How long did it take me to build that vehicle? 3 years. That vehicle took me from point A to my point B, which was 50K a year. These numbers y'all are throwing out, 30K a month, 100K a month. I could never do that as a licensed physical therapist treating patients every single day. That was impossible. Okay, was it work to build that vehicle? Yes. Did I have times where I failed? Yes. Ask my pediatrics professor. Okay. Now, today I build different vehicles. I build vehicles that allow me to collapse my time. When I built my first online vehicle, I built it in 2013. Did it take me time to build a vehicle? Yes. Did the vehicle take off right away? No. But once I started to build that vehicle over a little bit less than the time that it took me to build the other vehicle, this vehicle, I'm going to say, was more of a car. This vehicle allowed me to get from point A, which was making $350,000, $400,000 a year, to point B, making $350,000, $400,000 a month. It's a different vehicle. It still takes time, still takes effort, still takes energy. But when you operate that vehicle, it has the ability to take you a lot further. So I say that to you all because depending on what your goals are, you need to decide and you need to figure out what vehicle are you building, and is that vehicle have the ability for you to get from your current point A to your future point B. So the first thing is you got to know what the hell you're actually going after. You got to have what we call definitiveness of purpose. Napoleon Hill talks about it, right? And you must understand what is it for you and what is it that you want. And then ask yourself, is what I'm currently doing even have the capacity to be able to get me there? But they all take time. Does that make sense, everybody? Everybody got it? That's true. All right. So with that said, let me serve the people. What questions y'all have? I'll help you out.
Let me give you some context here. I know a lot of these guys work with myself and you. A few of them are beginners, maybe have one client or no client. And obviously that's a grind when you're maybe making a little bit of money, or maybe no one yet. And that's like very demoralizing. So give any advice to just maybe ramp that up?
Yeah, keep going. Yeah, keep going. Keep going. As I said, you're building a vehicle. You guys, isn't it fascinating? Isn't it fascinating how, hey, by the way, how many people here are in PT school or current PTs? Can you guys do me a favor and put it in the chat section? Are you in PT school or your current PTs? Okay. Isn't it fascinating how we go to PT school? Okay. All right. So we got a lot of current PTs. All right. Let's talk about this, guys. We go to PT school 3.5 years. Y'all have to, by the way, would you guys say, in all fairness, that PT school, you're averaging about 30 to 40 hours of work a week? Is that fair to say? Between like classes, which is probably about 15 hours a week, and then the amount you're studying, et cetera, you're doing about 40 hours a week for about 3 years. Paying some serious bucks. And you need to think twice about it. Now, for those of you that have one client, how long you been at it? Go ahead and put it in chat section. Put it. I want to see it. Knowing damn well this thing gonna make you a boatload of money one day, eventually. How long have you been at it? 3 months. 7 months. 2 months. All right, 8. 3 years. Jillian, you working for somebody? Or are you doing your own thing? Okay. Okay. So here's the deal. So here's the deal, you guys. Here's the deal. You own 2 clinics. Okay. So here we go. 71 patient hours this week. 3. Okay. So here's the deal. My point in all of this is that the majority of you, if you put the same amount of energy and work into what you did to trade time for money for the rest of your life, and you did that in a business, and you did the right things, and I'm assuming if you're learning from this guy, I know he's doing the right thing because I taught him some stuff too. So I know he ain't teaching no bullish, right? And I know he learned from Aaron, and I know Aaron knows what the hell he's doing. And I know that this guy puts a lot of emphasis on his education, practical education. So I know he's no slouch. And if you're listening and you're executing on half of what he's telling you to do, you're trying to tell me you're not going to make a good chunk of money? Of course you are. You guys, don't get caught up with the fake stuff out there that's on Instagram or on this thing or whatever. Listen, man, all this stuff takes work. Okay. It takes work. But I want to tell y'all this, and I say this with with just keeping it real with y'all. I've been at my office since 7:50 a.m. this morning. I got up at 5:30 a.m. to do my workout. It is 9:19 and I'm still going. And there is no let up in this old man, right? I'm going and I'm going hard today. Now, here's the deal. When you build something amazing and you build the right, look, I'm going to work hard anyway. I'm going to work hard anyway, whether I'm treating patients and I'm doing documentation till late at night, or I'm doing this. Either way, I'm going to work hard. But can I tell y'all something that's absolutely amazing? Last week, I moved my daughter back to Orlando on Thursday. I had my people here, people that are in my inner circle program. My staff and my team served them while I was gone. Took about 2.5 hours. I left at 6 a.m. in the morning. Took about 2.5 hours to get to Orlando. Took care of my daughter. Got her into her apartment. Took us about 3 hours to get back. When I got back, I actually spent some time with that guy, Owen Johnson, and we went out to dinner with a few other people as well. Well, when I went home that night and I looked at my Stripe accounts for my businesses, you want to know how much I made that night, that day? $54,000. So here's the deal. The time's going to pass regardless. You can cry about it. You can, I'm 3 months into my business. I only got one patient. Or you can build and put your head down and get to work. The time's going to pass regardless. Be mindful of what type of vehicle you're building and ask yourself, do you have a vehicle that if built properly and tweaked and souped up, if it can make you some big money in a very short period of time? Here's my answer to that. Next question.
I just want to interject here and just say one thing. One thing too people don't realize is that as your income increases, you're going to have more and more problems, but they're going to be bigger and better problems. So don't be afraid of having more problems because they're going to be better ones that you currently have, especially if you're just starting off.
Yeah, you guys, that's 100% reality. But what will happen is that as your income increases, your capacity will increase as well. So my capacity for handling bigger problems increases because that's how it works, right? Like this morning, I need to get my left shoulder, figured out though. Seriously, man, I have some bicipital tendon. I got something going on. But here's the deal. This morning I was doing chest and back, right? Okay. And when you're working out, we're supposed to go to overload in some way, whether it's massive amounts of reps or we're doing, a repetition max. We're not growing unless there's some level of overload happening. Okay. But what happens is that I feel the overload, which sucks when I'm feeling it. It sucks. It's not a great feeling. But then after I do the overload, what's happening? There is an increase in capacity. So you have to ask yourself, am I willing to do the sucky things so that not only am I eventually mastering what it is that I want to eventually do, but am I doing the things that's hard so that it's increasing my capacity to deal with hard? It never gets easy, but you have to choose your hard. I mean, there's a time where in 2006, 7, I was playing a lot of PS3 and PS4. And by the way, ain't nothing wrong with it. I recently just got a PS5. I'm just waiting for the new Madden to come out, to play my son a little bit, here and there. But here's the deal. I was having fun, but I had no money. These things are hard. Today, I don't really play that stuff much anymore. I deal with a lot of business stuff. I got a lot of staff, got a lot of this. But you know what? I don't have any problems with money anymore. So I don't have that hard. So either way, you're going to do hard stuff and not have the reap hard and the fruit of hard, or you're going to do easy stuff and life's going to be hard. Like either way, it's going to be hard. I like my hard better. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. That's it. You just got to make up your mind. Here, let me tell you what this hard looks like. For those of you that have 1 or 2 or 3 patients, this hard looks like you got to put yourself out there every day. This hard looks like you got to go and you got to do outreaches. Like, guys, here, my 1 to 2 client people. How many people in the last 72 hours have you had conversations with and DM'd? Please put in the chat. Brandon, am I being too hard on them?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
I think
one.
I think it's Monday too. I think last time we
too many.
More energy.
Okay.
I know it's.
Well, this is Motivation Monday. We're moving today. You know what? This is the greatest time to do this call because it fire y'all's asses up for the week.
Yeah.
And get y'all going because y'all gonna spend another week doing the monotonous stuff that you're doing. Let me tell you something. 1 hour ago, you guys want to know how many DMs we did today? $193. I got 60 leads in my business today. Oh, by the way, I also did ads and spent $1,200 on that. You guys, here's the deal. If you don't got the money for that, you need to put in the work. Every single one of you, you're like, listen, man, you're not doing enough work. I mean, I don't know how else to tell you. You're just not doing enough work. There's a crap ton of people out there. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people you got to talk to. A lot of people you got to go through. A lot of people and you don't know. See, this is how I look at it, right? Like this is how I look at it. Can somebody tell me what their offer is? So tell me what your offer, or tell me the amount that your main offer is. By the way, Tom, that's some good work. That's some good work right there. That's what I want. 35 to 45. I want 50 a day, minimum. Somebody tell me tell me how much your main offer is that you charge. Guys, okay. So my main offer is $3K, paid in full, $26.99. Okay. So $3,000. Okay. Wonderful. So this is how you guys got to look at this stuff. All right. And then I'll do Patrick's in a second. The way you guys got to look at this thing is that it's $3,000. Right. And so for me, I know that in an hour, I can get through, in an hour of just being intense, I can do 50 DMs in an hour. Do 50 DMs an hour. So I know this. I know that $3,000, if I want to make $500 an hour, I know that I can do 2 to 3 hours worth of DMs and I can hit 100 to 150 people. You trying to tell me that if I hit 100 and 150 people, whether it's through Instagram, through Facebook, usually you can't even do that much through any of the platforms. You got to do 50 on Facebook, you got to do 50 on Instagram, you got to do 50 over here on TikTok. Look, or you got to do 50 on Twitter. They only allow you to do 50 to 60 a day. You're trying to tell me that if you reach out to that much people, which you should be able to do when you get good at it, you should be able to do it in 2 to 3 hours. You're trying to tell me that you're not going to get 1 to 2 clients every single day? You're trying to tell me that you're not going to bat 1 to 2 out of 150? Come on, y'all know you're going to do that. The question is volume. It's how much work are you putting in? And the other question is, are you charging enough to where you would even want to do that? See, I think a lot of therapists are charging pennies. So they're like, I don't want to put in the work. Well, then charge more. Charge enough money. Patrick, the amount you're charging, it should be worth it to hustle. It should be worth it to hustle. If you had to talk to 500 DMs to get one person to pay you $30K, is that not worth it? Hell yeah, it's worth it. 500 DMs, let's say you do 50 an hour. That's 10 hours. You asked for $30,000. That's $3,000 an hour. That's cool. You guys get it? Yes, one of the things that I'll tell you this. By the way, I remember the first time I went to the War Room Mastermind. Okay, and that's a mastermind that I got to participate in last year, and it's a mastermind where you have to be at 7 figures to even apply for it. First time I went there, I remember walking into this room. It's in Austin, Texas, and I walked into this room, and I saw our boy Hormozy. I was like, what the hell? Damn, he's here? Okay, that's cool. That's kind of cray-cray. So anyways, he was there. And I was telling this to Owen this past week. I was like, I didn't sit at his table. I gotta be honest, y'all, I felt a little intimidated. It's like when you see the nose strip, you're just like, yo, man, I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? It's just weird. So I was like, man, I ain't sitting at that man's table. I'm gonna sit over here. All right. So anyways, but I did talk to him the next day. I did sit at his table, but like during a break, and there was a conversation had. And the amount of work that these guys are putting in, the amount of work that these dudes are putting in, the amount of cold outreaches, the amount of, you guys, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I just think, and by the way, the craziest part about it is the work I'm telling you, none of the work that I have done, okay, and I think I've done pretty well for myself. None of the work that I've done has ever been harder than my time in PT school. PT school was the hardest thing I've ever done. PT school and working a nearly full-time job was the hardest thing I've ever done. There is no work that I've ever done as my 18 years as an entrepreneur that's been harder than PT school and having a full-time job or having a 30-hour week, job. So telling you guys right now, every single one of you, you can do it, but you just need to make sure that you're around people, that you all are doing it, and that what you're doing feels normal because you brainwash yourself around people that are going for it. And you'll look around 2-3 years later and be like, holy crap, I'm in the top 0.5% of physical therapy earners.
Yeah, that's something too I wanted to add on, because I see a lot of people that come through my coaching program and they didn't have a supportive wife. Talked about this last time. And then what happened was they ended up just not achieving their goals because they just have support system on the back end, right? But even when you're successful, there's still gonna be stuff that's like, a lot of people, which is crazy, this blows my mind. You think about Greg, myself, Aaron, et cetera. A lot of us could walk away from coaching and doing things and just do whatever all day. But we don't, because we want to help as many people as possible. I believe the shirt said earlier, what did it say, your shirt?
Who, my shirt?
The shirt from the affiliate thing earlier. And he turned around, the shirt says something on the back.
Oh, go ahead, Owen, and turn around. Because if we don't, who will?
Yeah, and that's true, because if you look at stuff, I see like my ads, Aaron's ads, Frank's ads, something with Greg's ads. I see all these people post their ads on Reddit and they're like scammer, etc. Yet we're out here getting people money on money. So it's something where like once you're successful, you're gonna have lots of pushback from the status quo, but realize being average is going to keep you there. If you want to be exceptional, you have to start being around people like Greg, myself, Owen, etc. Because if you're just staying around the same people, staying stuck on the support system, you're basically just screwed over. Basically, you're screwing yourself by doing that. And you are going to have to pay in time or money for anything. And money's going to get you a lot faster than wasting years.
100%. It just comes down to like, what is it that you want out of your life? And I have to be honest with you guys. I think the biggest determining factor to getting to your goals is your level of apathy. And what I mean by that is, for most people, they kind of want a better life, but it really doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal. They're comfortably uncomfortable. It's like, yeah, that'd be nice, but I don't really need it. See, I really wanted to get out of my situation. And when I look at the people that I've been around, that I've been able to help, or people that I aspire to be like, and I realize there's one determining factor. It's not whether they were black, or if they were white, or if they were gay or straight. It was hunger. Some just wanted more. And I think that's one of the tough things about being a physical therapist. You could have a pretty average life and be okay. I mean, seriously, guys, are you ever really worried, at least in the current economy, are you ever worried about getting a job as a PT? Bro, you can work in some home health place and just go from place to place and do a cat piss. Like, you're fine. You know what I mean? Like, you know, make decent money, like, you know, whatever, right? Could work at some outpatient place. All right, you might have to see 3 patients an hour, but that's fine, right? But how badly do you want to get out of it, right? So here's the deal. The same coach that I have is actually the same coach that Mr. Hormozi has as well. And he has been, which is really, it's really amazing to hear this. He has been consulting with Alex leading up to his big launch that he did this past weekend. And actually he was able to talk with him right after the launch. So if you want, I'll give y'all some game on what happened there. So on how that whole thing went down. But one of the things that he said is that when and by the way, this guy's name is Jason Fladgling. If you guys read $100 Million Offers, he's the most quoted person in the book, right? And so one of the things that Jason taught me on, and I think this is really important for you all to understand, is Jason is an affiliate. So does everybody understand what affiliate is, right? Everybody get that? Affiliate is basically you are promoting and selling somebody else's product that you believe in, a product or service opportunity. And so Jason has done the largest ever internet marketing launch of all time. He did a webinar and made $57 million on a webinar. It wasn't even his product. So can I tell you guys what he told me? He's like, when he's looking for opportunities in the marketplace, the first thing he's looking for is, am I in a niche or a market where I actually don't have to get better and I can still win? What? Yeah. Y'all, I want you to listen up to that again. The first thing he says is not him getting better, not his skill set getting better. He's asking himself, am I in a market to where I don't even have to get better and I can still win? Or I can get better incrementally and win? He says, that's the first thing I'm looking for. What market is that? You know what he said to me? He said, Greg, you are in a great market. He says, you're in a great market. He's like, because you seem like you are in a market where the people are so resistant to changing their life for the better, because their ego and their attachment to their status of doing physical therapy in the way that they paid a lot of money to do it, they're so tied to it that they're resistant to doing anything to change their life. And because of that, and by the way, I'm telling you all that, this is a conversation I had with my coach. He said, and because of that, it has put you in a position for you to dominate the market, even if you don't get better. Now, you seem to want to continue to get better. So if you add that you want to get better and being in a market where the people are so stubborn and resistant, you can't lose and you will continue to dominate. So I say that to you all. I'm letting y'all borrow my coaching right now. I'm telling you all that understanding that you are in a market where if y'all just semi-try, you will be in the top 1%. But what I want you all to do is I want you all to understand what semi-try means. I just told you guys this is the standards of what the big dogs do. So semi-try is not being around any of your Bobo coworkers and they're like, you're like, no, semi-try is understanding that you should 200 outreach is what we want today. Semi-try is saying, all right, I'm going to reach out to 20. And the difference with semi-try has to do with the people that you're around. Brandon Smith is working. Dude's working. He sees me. I'm working. I need you guys to level up your standards on what work is and what effort is.
Also, what you guys realize, which you may not be aware of, but student loans are what, 7% interest rate. Houses now are 7.7% interest rate, like $400,000. What's going to happen is that if you do not take control of your situation, in a few years, you're gonna be like, oh, I should have listened to Greg, should listen to Brandon, et cetera, because it's gonna get bad before it gets better. And I want you to really use that as motivation. Understand that, no one's going to come and solve your problems for you. You're gonna have to solve them yourself, but also you're gonna have a lot more problems than say even Greg did when he came out of school, because now you got a lot of loans at 7%. You want a house that's 7%. You're going through things here on that's really just going to eat away at your cost and your living. So you need a vehicle to escape that.
Right. What 100%. And I think you all should also understand the 30-40-30 rule. It's one of the first personal development events I ever went to. Has anybody heard of a guy named T. Harv Eker? So T. Harv Eker was one of the first personal development financial conferences that I went to. I actually got his CD first from my brother. I was like, dang, this is really good. And he did this conference back in like 2011 called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. I didn't know anything about the guy. I didn't really fully get the whole personal development. I mean, I'd like read 4-Hour Work Week and this and that or whatever, but I wasn't immersed in it like I am today. But that guy taught me something. And he said that if you want to become wealthy, you must do what wealthy people do. All right, we've heard that before. Okay, so what do wealthy people do? It's how they manage their money. And he basically broke down the 30-40-30 rule. And that's when I started to realize that maybe I'm not okay. So can I break it down for you guys real quick? Just we'll do it real quick. Here, let me go to my board. So 30-40-30 rule. 30, 40, 30. Okay. 40% of your money is going to taxes. 30% is going to assets. The rest is expenses. Okay. Now you're probably like, 40% taxes? What are you talking about? Well, when you really think about it, taxes is one of the most David Copperfield magician moves that they've done inside of our country. Now, if you work for the man, you already know that they're taking out 25% off the top. But here's the deal. How many of y'all have a cell phone? Y'all do me a favor. Go take your cell phone bill and go look at it line by line and look at all the taxes they're taking out. How many of y'all have a car that uses gas? I'm asking that because I got an electric car. Okay. All right. You might want to check out that whole tax thing too. You guys, about 40% of our money is being used for taxes if you don't have a business. You have a business, it's probably closer to about 32. Now, remember, this is the game plan of how to become a millionaire. 4% going to Ukraine. Lord have mercy. Don't even get me started on that. We'll hit that a little bit later. All right. Now, here's the deal. 30% of your money, if you're trying to create wealth, and what I mean by creating wealth is that you want to get to the point where your money is working harder for you than you're working for it. And if that's going to happen, then you got to get to the point where 30% of your money is going to assets. The house that I live in is not an asset. It ain't making me any money, just living in there. It's nice though, but it ain't making me no money. Now, if I put my money in them storage units down the road, well, that's making me money. That'd be cash flow. A few of my properties, okay, those are making me money. They're cash flow. But you got to build, you got to start with something. What I recommend y'all do is you start with business. 30% of your money should go to assets. The rest of your money should be going to expenses. It's 30%. So here's my question. How many of y'all make 100K a year? And if you're making 100K a year, here's my question. Are you living off of $30,000? Can you live off of $30,000? Can you? So Muhammad said, hell no. Well, then that means for you, Muhammad, you got to make more than 100K a year. Are you making more than 100K a year? See, guys, this is a thing that I've come to understand. This is what I've come to understand. If you guys want to be able to have your money work harder for you than you're working for it, you got to start building assets. I personally believe the best asset that you can build right now that can give you the highest potential return on your money is a business. And preferably a business that has low capital expenses.
Greg, I have a question. I know we covered some like beginner businesses, but I know Araceli is on this call and she's had the business for quite some time. Do you have any questions for Greg?
I really kind of just wanted to come on here and just see exactly what you guys were about. I've done a couple of masterminds, I've done Tony Robbins, and I think where I am right now in my career, and we're going to be moving to a new city. So I'm kind of on the fence as whether or not to go into online business, because I had a brick and mortar for a while, and I had multiple clinics, and then dealing with like overhead and just the newer generation of graduates, and realizing that I don't want multiple businesses in terms of like having satellite clinics anymore, but I do want to venture into the online spectrum, because I feel like I've grown my following, and now it's just a matter of committing the time, but also making sure that, my family I value more than anything, and the time with my daughter and my husband. So to me, like my mental well-being, I felt was being taxed with the amount of work that my business needed. And I just felt like, that was more of a priority than actually making the income. So trying to figure out, and you asked it in the beginning, like, what is it that we really want? And I feel like I know what I want to do, but it's just having the actual like clarity. Like, do I want to take the jump virtually? Like, do I really need to, or am I able to just, I have an extraordinary life, and I'm doing a lot of things that I want to do, but now it's like, I'm in a different phase of my life. I'm 40. I feel like now it's about like teaching the next generation, but not quite sure if I want to commit that energy, because my daughter's 9, and it's like, I want to make sure I spend time with her because she's going to be leaving soon. So what does that look like? So I don't know if I have a specific question, or more of just like, this is the next step that I need to take. And it's firing me up. When I hear about this, it's just like, but I also know the struggle that I went through to grow my business the way I have. And I've had my practice now for 9 years, and, I was able to leave for the summer, and, coming back, like no problem, bringing my schedule up again. So yeah.
It really comes down to what you want. Can I talk to you as a parent as well? Parent to parent?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think there's a couple things. I think one thing, and by the way, do we have any other parents on? And, it's a couple things I'll say. I used to struggle with that same thing, wondering, man, are my kids going to be like, Daddy wasn't there to take me to the fair? And I really did struggle with that. I really did. And so just to give you some context, I have 4 kids, right? And they're 20, 17, 14, and 10. And I truly thought, and by the way, how do I say your name? I want to say it right.
My name, Araceli. Yeah. It's in Spanish. Ara. You can call me Ara.
Okay. Ara. All right. So I truly thought I screwed up my older kids. And because I was building my clinics then, you know, and I wasn't around a ton. And then like, I would say from like 2011, like, you know, we got to take our first month trip to Jamaica and come back, and Clinton's still making good money and da 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 and all the other stuff. But during the time of building it from 2005 to like, I was like, man, you know, I miss all of this, all of that, da 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 da. Well, now my daughter is 20, and my daughter is on her own now. And she said, Daddy, you know, I want to thank you, because a lot of my friends, they don't know what hard work looks like, and they're struggling right now. And I saw what hard work looked like. And she said, even though I know you weren't like able to be there for everything, like you truly parented me by showing me the way. And so I don't know if I don't know if you have your 9-year-old, if you have older kids. I mean, I'm not sure, but basically I just feel like I need to tell you that you're doing okay. And if you decide to go online and you decide, okay, this is going to be my jam, this is the thing I'm going to do, I want to tell you that it's not just spending time with your kids that's going to get your kids to be like, wow, mommy was a great mommy. I think we have a responsibility to teach our kids to be able to be functioning adults. And I think what we want for our kids is we want our kids to be able to go after their goals and dreams. And I believe the best way we can do that for those of us that are in a situation where we still have our parents, I know many of us are not, but those that are in a situation where we still have our parents, the greatest thing that we can do is model that behavior by actually doing it. I personally, like, I can make an argument for you right now, Artie, that you going after something, even after you built something else, is going to do a lot for your daughter, right? Okay. It's going to do a lot for your daughter by you just doing that. It's going to give your daughter the permission that you could change your mind and change what you want, because you change the things that mean a lot to you. Whether that means you go online or you stay, like whatever you want to do. But that's something that, as I've been talking now to my 17 or my 20-year-old, that's something that, like, I didn't get. I felt a lot of, I don't want to say shame, I don't want to say that, but I just felt a little guilt for not always being there. And yeah, you know, and then now today, like today, I can move her into her apartment. I can do this, I can do that. And she's like, you know what? You really taught me how to actually work. And she's like, I have a lot of confidence that I'm going to make a lot of money because my father taught me what work really looks like, you know? So I don't know if that means anything, but I felt like I needed to tell you that. I don't have an answer for what it is that you want, because I don't know if you know what you want. but whatever it is that you want, if you decide you know what you want, I mean, I can tell you how to build and scale clinics if that's what you want. I can tell you how to do the online thing if that's what you want. Personally, for me, I've moved away from my clinics. And here's the main reason. For me, it's a different situation. I have a partner, and my partner, I felt like I was outgrowing my partner. And so I just felt like, for me, it's like, I want to have the business that's going to give me the most output for minimal input. So, and I feel like I get more impact helping other people build their stuff, you know? So, you know, and I let him do his thing with the clinics. I still own them, but just let him run them, you know? So anyway, but that's me, you know?
Jillian, did you have any, I know Jillian, you've had some stuff with your client. Do you have any questions for Greg that maybe you could get new perspective on or anything? I don't know if you do or not. You're on the call, Jillian. Sorry for calling you out.
No, I don't have any specific questions. I don't know, just listening, taking it all in.
Okay. Mohammed, do you have any questions currently? Maybe some growth strategies or something for what you're trying to do?
No specific question. I guess one
my question is mostly is when you're starting, what's the one thing for you, Greg, that has kind of kept you focused, other than the motivation of trying to get out of the system, right? Like, what has kind of kept you just going, especially like just starting off? Because it can be very like, it can be a struggle bus because you have doubts and all that stuff, right?
I brainwashed myself. I brainwashed myself. Like, here's the deal. I'm not afraid of saying I want something and I want something really, really bad. Like here, Mohammed, let me ask you a question. Where do you live?
Denver.
You live in Denver. Okay. So here's my question to you. I live in Clearwater, Florida. Okay. Now, you're in Denver. I'm in Clearwater. If I told you I had $75 waiting for you here in Clearwater, Florida, you would just have to leave your place right now and walk and come get it. Would you do it?
Hell no.
Okay. If I said to you, I had $3 million here at my studio, but I need you to take your AZZ out of your place and walk and come get it, would you do it?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. And that right there is your answer, my friend. When the results and the thing that you want is big enough, you will overcome all doubt. You'll overcome all them mind games you playing if it's worth it. That's why I said the biggest thing that's holding y'all back is apathy. Is it worth it? Do you believe that on the other side is a $3 million business? Do you believe that? If you don't, then your biggest thing right now is you got to be around people that are actually doing $3 million businesses. For you, if you said to me, no, $3 million is not enough, I'm still staying at home. If I said 10 million, you're like, I'm getting up, I'm on my way. Okay, then you need to be around people that are building $10 million businesses until that becomes your reality because you believe it. Because once you talk to them, you realize that, like Greg Todd, they're really not that special. They're just resilient. And then you start to believe, yo, I can do this. And then you get out of your way because the payoff is so huge. It's so huge that no matter how many no's you get, it doesn't freaking matter. It doesn't matter. So guys, it really does come down to that. It does.
I think too that you're raised in a system where you're not taught to think big like that. You should be, I think at a minimum, everyone on this call should be trying to get to at least $83,000 a month. It's $1 million a year. And that's like the minimum level. If you're not thinking that way, then you're not going to be over that for trying to think of solutions to get there as well. So you need to set higher goals, even if you fail too. And like Greg said, you should have some motivation because no one's going to care if you're old and you're rich. It's better to get rich when you're young too.
Yeah, it's better, guys. Here's the deal. It's just better to be rich. let's just let. I mean, you see, this is the thing. It's like everybody's afraid of money. Everybody's afraid of money. It's better to be rich. It is not better to be broke. Like, are we all okay with that? I mean, if we're not, then I don't know what to tell y'all. It is better. It is better. Am I saying I have no problem? I'm not saying that. I got problems, but I will take my money problems. I will take it over than Bank of America end of the month problems. Let me tell you what those are. I remember them. The Bank of America problems is when you got that $5, you got to have the $5 balance, and you got $4.13 in there, and you trying to figure out, I got to get to Bank of America before 5 p.m. I got to get 75 cents in because if I don't, they're going to charge me $26.50. That's broke ass people problems. I don't like it. I hate it. I love being able to go to a restaurant the other night. Oh, and I went to a restaurant. The bill was $1,300. Like, sure, take it. It's fine. Good. I love that. I would rather that problem. Okay, fine. I got to deal with a disgruntled staff member. No problem. No problem. I'm good. I'll take that problem. Then Bank of America broke problems every single month were awful. I don't want that. I don't want it. So yes, rich is better. Okay. All right. So listen. And by the way, guys, when you don't acknowledge this, you won't even dream.
There's also a point I want to bring up.
Because you're almost embarrassed about it.
Yeah, there's also a point I want to bring up that maybe you haven't struggled enough to want that motivation yet, though. Like, you know, like for me, I know I graduated PT school and like I was trying to get like payday loans and shit to pay my bills.
Right.
Not going back.
Not going back.
Yeah.
I do not want to go back to Brokeville. By the way, one of my coaches, his name is Edward Milet. This man is worth like 750 million. Every day he's like, I am not going back to Brokeville. His motivation is he doesn't want to be broke again. And the dude's worth nearly $1 billion. So you guys gotta be okay with this. You gotta be okay with gaining some wealth. You gotta be okay with it, or you will sabotage yourself. And by the way, it's not like you're actively saying, I don't want money, but blessings. The Lord will bring blessings in your life. And blessings come in the form of people, places, and opportunities. This right here is a place. Zoom is a place. People are on here right now teaching you. Opportunities are, wow, I got like for instance, I was just talking to Ari, right? I wonder if this week you're gonna get an opportunity to help somebody online. These are all things that happen. So then we say, oh, I get offered. It's like, boom, it's in front of you. And if we're not comfortable with this stuff, we'll just say, oh, it's not the right time. No, it's the right time. So you guys, you got to get comfortable with this. I want to make a lot of money. I want to be able to bless as many people as I possibly can. It's like somebody saying, hey, you want good health? No, I want average health. No, I want great health. Oh, you want a mid-marriage? I don't want a mid-marriage. I want a great marriage. Oh, you want some basic ass kids? No, I want great kids. So if I want great with my health, if I want great with my marriage, if I want great with my kids, why would I not want great with my money? So once you can acknowledge that, I want the money. Then you have to ask yourself, well, how am I going to get the money? Well, you can do a couple things. You can steal, kill, and destroy, which is unethical. Well, I'm not that guy. So if you say, okay, well, how am I going to get the money? Well, the way you're going to get it is by serving God's children. Okay. And the way you serve God's children is you serve them through bringing value. So it's such a cool thing because it's like, wow, you mean I can get rich if I just bless so many people? I mean, I don't see what the problem is. It's really nice. And now I got to figure out, how am I going to bless more people? How am I going to bless more people and solve bigger problems for them? And then you realize throughout this whole process, you got to become somebody totally different than who you are right now. I don't know, man. I think it's a great gig. I think it's wonderful. I think it's the coolest thing in the world. So Thomas said, my dad died at 41 and spent 41 years trading 100% of his time for money, working 2 to 4 jobs to pay bills. I'm now 30 and I refuse to be broke and die broke. You don't know how much time we have left, and I'm not spending it all doing broke stuff. Can I share something with you, my friend? Because I think you know, man, I really dig this guy, B. Smith. I'm telling you right now, this guy's going to be it. He's going to do it. So, Thomas, I want to tell you something. I am blessed that my father is still here. But there's a couple things. In 2012, right? I was trading, so 2011, I was trading a lot of my time for a little bit of money. And by the way, I was making decent money. My clinics were doing over $1 million a year. I think the first year we did it was 2011, but I wasn't making no million a year. I was probably bringing in just under 200K. Okay. But the reality is, bro, I was working like 60 to 80 hours a week. I was burning candle at both ends. I was that therapist where it's like, I felt like if I didn't give these people everything, I still lived in a scarcity mindset that it's all going to go away. So when 12 o'clock came, I wouldn't even take a lunch break because a patient had to see me, just kill myself, right? I started having all these autoimmune problems. But here's the deal. In 2012, January 2012, I ended up having 3 seizures in 4 days. And in one of the instances, I actually collapsed at 2 a.m. Just outside of the bathroom. And I kid you not, they found me unconscious. And I remember regaining consciousness in the ambulance, like just knowing something was going on, and I just saw people around. It was just weird. Like, it was weird. But when I kind of came to, bro, let me tell you something. I started, like, have y'all ever been sick? Like I don't drink, but have y'all ever been like drunk sick where you start making deals with God, like, Lord, I promise you, I'll never do it again. Okay. Like that's what I was dealing with. And I remember saying I was playing too many games. I remember saying that I was doing good, but I know that God called me for more. I know I had capability of doing more. And that day was the day that I felt like you, Tommy V. And I was like, I ain't playing no more games. So a lot of times we just all need a little shakeup. Some of us make it through it. Some of us don't. I think the best way you can basically rewrite the legacy for your family is to ride that pain, bro. Ride that pain. So I salute you. Okay. I mean, I remember one of the first times, I got to know a little bit about Patrick. A lot of his mission that he's doing is off of pain. That's a beautiful thing, Patrick. Y'all got to get freaking fired up about what it is you want in your life. Y'all got to have a chip on your shoulder. A little anger ain't never hurt nobody. Okay. All right. Y'all got to start saying, man, what do I want? I'm telling you, apathy is messing up a lot of people. What if you've been blessed your whole life and haven't experienced that pain or loss? Well, I guess there's a couple ways. See, I personally think, Jillian, I personally think that there's a lot of people that feel the same way that you feel. And the reality is this. The reality is that there are human needs. And even if you've never struggled, there's probably something missing. Tell me if I'm right or tell me if I'm wrong. We all want what? We want certainty in our life, right? We all want stability. It's the reason why most of us became PTs. All right, okay? We also want uncertainty. I found out from my wife. She's like, why don't you ever send me flowers when I'm not expecting it? Okay, she wants uncertainty. It's one of the human needs, okay? All right. We also want love. We want significance. You know what else we want? We want growth and we want contribution. So here's what I would say, Jillian. What I would say is that there's a lot of people that they feel like they got everything, but something's still missing. Now you tell me, is growth and contribution maybe something that's missing? Because I think that the person that's like, yo, I've been blessed my whole life. And I think that person, whether that's you or I believe that person can resonate with a lot of people out there. Growth, definitely. Want respect. Yeah. You know, sometimes you want to know something? My daughter even said this to me. So my daughter, she's never struggled financially. She's never struggled financially. She's doing extremely well right now. But you want to know what she said? She says that she's got a chip on her shoulder because she's like, I don't want people to say that I'm making it because of my daddy. So she's like, I want to prove people. You guys, you got to figure out like where you can muster up an edge. Have y'all ever watched this documentary called The Last Dance? With Michael Jordan and the Bulls? One of the most amazing things about Jordan is Jordan made stuff up. He made stuff up. So basically, this is what happened with Jordan. With Jordan, there would be an opponent on the other team. And Jordan would tell his teammates that this dude was talking trash about me. And he's like, yo, I can't believe this guy's talking ish about me. He's like, yo, I'm going to drop 40 on him. And then his teammates after the game would go to that guy and say, man, why'd you talk ish about? He's like, I didn't say nothing. And they found out the guy never said nothing. Jordan made it up. So sometimes, you guys, what you got to do is you got to figure out how to muster up something out of nothing. You guys got to figure out how to re-energize yourself, how to get things going, how to have a chip even when the chip is not there. Guys, I'm just telling you what it takes to be great. It's 10:11 p.m. Eastern time. And if you're on this damn call, chances are, whether you know it or not, there is something in you that wants to be a little bit more special than the average bear. And you are the person that I want signing up for my challenge. That's what I want. That person. So, whatever that means. Okay.
Yeah, Greg, I was saying, I know it's 10 o'clock your time. Sorry, since I moved to Arizona, not really favorable to everyone on the East Coast.
Not me. It's not me. I'm psycho. I don't give a damn. I'm good. I'm good. I told my wife, baby, I'll be home at 11.
Well, I know the last time we did this, we went for like 1 to 2 hours. I just want to make sure if anyone had a question that didn't get answered or want a question asked, ask it, right? You know, I spent a weekend with Greg a few months ago, honestly walked away with a new 6-figure business. So it's something where if you want to ask Greg a question, ask Greg a question. Don't come on this call and not ask questions.
I have a question.
Go for it.
So last year, I think I did sign up for like a 6-month online coaching to, learn how to like launch an online business. And quite frankly, I was so busy running my practice, doing the onboarding for PT, really setting all that up. And I just, by the time that I was done with the course, like I didn't have the bandwidth to do what I needed to do in order to actually launch my business. And I felt like, even though I don't think it's like lost investment, I kind of regret spending that money and not having the time and allotting it, because running my brick and mortar business just took so much juice out of me.
Yeah.
I don't want to make that mistake again. And I feel like the timing of things, because I'm going to be moving to another city next year. And I'm trying to figure out like, okay, what do I do with the loyalty that I've developed here for almost a decade, So I feel like the timing is perfect now, but what would you recommend to someone looking to get into the online space? I frankly, at this point, like, I kind of feel like I need to go back and dust off some of that training that I did, but like, where do I start now with how the industry looks? I feel like, when it comes to the mentality of doing hard things, like I don't have a problem jumping into things that are tough because I've done it so many times repeatedly in my life. I know I'll do a good job, but what avenue do you take? Who do you work with? I feel like there's so much information out there. It's now like choosing, like,
so
where do I start?
Let me answer part of this.
Yeah.
The thing that I fixed a lot of with my clients is they go through stuff like that and they're like, oh, I build an online course, but they build an online course without building an audience or back-end systems and stuff like that. This is what Greg teaches. I teach it. A lot of people teach it. A lot of people but don't teach it, where they like, oh, if people think you make a course, you're going to make money. And I'll tell you, as someone that's made a lot of money with online course, Greg's made millions of dollars on online courses. It starts with an audience first. You kind of have the audience and nurturing. So, but if you don't have that audience, that's where a lot of people fail, because they build a course and they have no one to sell it to.
Yeah.
I actually don't even build the course before I get people's money.
Retail, yeah.
I mean, no, I'm dead serious. Like what Brandon just said is it. Okay. The first thing, it doesn't start with a course. It starts with an audience. Okay. So some of these guys are in my programs and they'll tell you the first thing we're doing is we're figuring out the audience and we're going to go serve people. Worst case scenario is you serve people and there's not a problem to solve for them that they want solved online. Worst case scenario, you just served people and you just built goodwill in the marketplace. Best case scenario is you serve the people. There is a problem that you can solve, and then you know you can solve this, and then you take their money. And by the way, I only work at honest people, because if I'm ever going to take somebody's money, I'm going to deliver because I know I can solve that problem for them. I would never take somebody's money thinking I could not solve their problem. But then once I do that, at least the first time around, I'm going to build it with them. And I'm going to let them know that you're going to give me feedback. I know what I'm doing. I just want to make sure that it's in line with what you're feeling at the time. That's it. I see 2 guys on here that actually recently did that with me in one of my programs. That's it. And so that's what you do. You create an audience first. As you're building the audience and you're serving them, you then will actually see if there is a need for you to be able to create an offer. The offer is something that you are giving them in exchange for their money. It's a solution you're giving them to a problem they have in exchange for money. And then once you have the offer, then you actually convert it to them being a customer. That's your first 3 steps. That's it. It is not find a platform, go do 95,000 videos. Put this up. Don't waste your time with it. Now, here's the beautiful thing about your situation. Your situation sounds like you've served people. Okay? Sounds like you've served people with your clinic, which is really good. And it sounds like you have a good reputation. That's what it sounds like. So I don't know, like, if the audience that you're currently serving is an audience that you could potentially serve online as well. I personally would start there if I could, okay? Because they've already paid you money, right? And so when someone's paid me money, what I've noticed is that because I always do what I tell them I'm going to do, they love to just continue to pay me money, right? So I like to start there. That's how I started when I was with my clinics. I started with the people that already trusted me. By the way, not all of them, like some of them are only going to value you because of what you're doing for them in the clinic. That's how they see your value. But there's going to be a certain select few. They're like, wow, I trust her judgment. And I'm going to try this with her. And if you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those people to actually not only pay you, but then give you feedback that what you have is good, now you're starting to cook with gas. And that's what I would do. What I would not do is go build any type of thing without somebody exchanging money with you first. Don't do it.
Yeah, please don't do that. I fixed that problem in reverse multiple times, which is why I'm telling you not to do it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. But you got to have confidence that I can actually, like, you can't be like, hey, I think I can do this. Like, I'll let people know, listen, I've done this before. I just haven't done it in this format. So I'm going to try this. I'm going to make sure that you're good. Here, ready? The program, Patrick and Tom, when you guys both win an invincible income, right? Both of you win an invincible, right? Okay. So this is how I did it. So that program that I did, I said I was going to release this thing for $3,000, right? Because I knew what I could bring people through and what it would do for them, right? Okay. So what I did is I knew I was going to do this. At least I thought I was going to do this, but I said 3 months prior, I said, you know what? I'm going to make somebody go through this. So there was someone that said that they wanted help with going online. was actually a childhood friend. And I said, all right, you want help going online? I was like, all right, and I just be honest. I just said, look, I'm going to be put something out there. I actually had the whole layout of how I want to do it. Do you want to go through it with me? She was like, oh my gosh, I love it. I was like, okay, give me $3,000. Wire me the money. She's like, okay. I was like, if you wire me the money, I'll actually bring you through what I plan on doing for people in the future. And I'll give you 1 hour a week of my time for 8 weeks or until I finish it up. And I made her test it. You're going to pay me though. And she did, and it worked. Boom. And then I just had a few little things that I tweaked, and then I knew it was ready for the marketplace. And I want to tell you, I didn't do it like that in the beginning, but today there's never anything that I'm going to launch that I know is not going to work because you do it that way. So if it gets to that point, now worst comes to worst, I serve people and I realize there's nothing for me to solve in a marketplace. So what's the worst thing that could happen? I just serve people and I took care of people. So either way, it's, it's fine. But that's what I would do if I was you.
Hey, Greg, I have a quick question.
Go for it.
Since I'm getting close to ending my 100-day challenge of posting on social media and built up my following a bit, however, engagement isn't quite there, and I'm a little concerned of not having enough social proof, what would you kind of recommend in my situation? Because I'm starting now to do some cold DMs of reaching out to people who have commented on my past reels and have interacted, and trying to see how I can navigate that situation.
So Patrick, I would not stop. As soon as it's over, I would just keep on going. You have more, it's probably harder for you now to not post than it is to post. That is a sweet spot, my friend. That's where you want to be. That's hard. Ask the other people on this call how hard it is for them to post. Now for you, it's hard for you not to post. Can you even imagine not posting?
No, it's in my blood. I'm like, I want to start promoting a webinar that I want to do in the future. So now it's trying to figure out how can I get people to show up.
Yeah, well, keep on posting. Okay. Keep on posting. That's the first thing you can do. Okay. So all you're doing is you're adding different layers to having people interested in what it is that you're offering. Posting content is one of the layers to actually getting people to come into your world. Brandon does this really, really good. How many of your people, Brandon, that have come into your world, bought your books, this, that, whatever, is from the content that he pushes out?
Well, also with my content though, like it qualifies. So my brother was calling me. So with my content though, because it is so divisive in a way, it filters out a lot of people that aren't serious as well. So it's kind of, I think I have more of an advantage by being more divisive in my content. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but that's good. Yeah. It's so Brandon is doing a brand play. Okay. It's his brand. It's who he is. You guys know, look, I've spent time with this man. He has been in my home. Who he is here is who he is everywhere. Okay. By the way, he is a little teddy bear. I'm just letting y'all know this right now. He's a little teddy bear. All right. Okay. If you squeeze him hard enough, he'll, okay. He's a little teddy bear. All right. Okay. All right. So let's just make sure we made that clear. All right. Don't even act like you're any tough guy. Just don't even go there. All right. With that said, who he is who he is. Okay. Right. You're not, guys, how stressful it is when you're like, you meet somebody online and you meet them in person. You're like, the hell, who are you? You don't get that with Brandon Smith. And I think most of you know, you don't get that with me either. Okay. All right. Just who we are is who we are. Okay. That's it. So Patrick, what I would say is this. I would say for you, your content is probably the best way right now for you to generate interest and to generate awareness. You are still very young in your business. Okay. And right now you need awareness. And I got to tell you something. I'm not on Instagram, those platforms a lot, I'm there, I'm producing, and I usually try to get the hell off because I got a lot of things to do. But most of the time when I open it up, I'd say 1 out of every 4 times I see you. So what you're doing is working. Don't stop it. Okay? Because it's a habit that you have right now that can't hurt. All right? Now, what I think you just need to do is you need to keep that habit and then just add like the outreach via DMs, whether it's warm or cold. Start with warm. And then when we want to get to cold, maybe when you have like a VA or somebody else, help you, and let's start building to that. And then what you want to do is initially when you're doing your webinar, I'm getting a little deep here with y'all, but when you do your webinar in the beginning, because you have such a high ticket offer, the webinar, the call to action at the end just needs to be to talk to me on the phone or talk to me via Zoom. And then as you're talking to them, you're building up because you're doing a high ticket offer. So you need to have a lot of conversation before we talk about the sale. Okay. People got to feel really comfortable with you. So that's what I would do. I would not ever try to sell a 30K thing on a webinar, right? Bring them to, hey, listen, I'm a busy guy. Every week, what I do is after I do my webinars, I talk to up to 4 people. That's it. If you're one of the 4, great. Then when you get really busy, hey, at the end of the webinar, you get the first 2 spots, I talk to you, that's it. You get to the point where you're doing 8 calls a month, close 2 of them a month, 60K. That's cool. You can do that every month. It's a good start. Okay. So that's all I want you to do. Cool.
Sounds good. Thanks.
You got it.
All right, guys. If you have any more questions, let us know. We're ready to go. Before I know it's late, Greg's time. I got some stuff to do in about 4 minutes. So thank you guys for showing up though. And yeah. Thank you, Jillian, Mohammed, Andrew, Deanna, Ron, Ivan. If you guys have any questions, we haven't heard from you. Let us know again.
Hey, is that Samuel? Wait a minute.
Hey,
Yo, weren't you in my programs back in the day when I was young?
Smart Success PT, baby.
Damn, that's an OG right there. I think that cat's like season 4 or 5.
Yo, you remembered.
Yeah, man.
You got memory.
It's crazy. I was like, yo, I know this cat. I know this guy. Oh, wow. So, bro, you gotta be you're like a student.
Yeah, I'm a PT now. I'm actually in home health right now.
Y'all, that shows how old I am, man.
Yeah.
Like these guys are students. Now they're out here just doing it. I'm just like, yeah, somebody the other said, he's like my grandpa mentor. Like, shut up, jeez, these people dating me, bro. They're dating me. Anyways, glad to see you, bro. I was like, oh my gosh, that's Sammy Z.
That's always good to see you,
man.
brother.
It's great
Always
stuff.
good to
Great
see you.
stuff. All right, y'all. Well, great seeing you all. Sign up for the Raise Your Income Challenge. Use Brandon link. Okay, get him to win it. Thank you. Appreciate y'all. You have a great night and much love. All right.
Oh, Greg, I also posted this on YouTube, and it actually put auto captions on YouTube, so your team can use clips and stuff if they need to.
Oh, look at that. You guys see, that's how you bring value. Look at that. You see that? Can you get that for me? And we'll
Yeah.
throw it into the team.
It's gonna, when it ends, it'll be processed. I'll send you the link, but it has captions and everything auto-generated from Zoom to YouTube, so it should all be there.
Perfect. I appreciate you, bro. Much love. All right.
All right.
I'll see y'all next Monday. Later.